Since the dawn of history, humankind has stood in awe before the cosmos, stars shimmering in the heavens, the sea stretching into infinity, and death whispering in our ears that all things are ephemeral. It was here that the first philosophical inquiry emerged. Why? Why do we exist? Why do we think? And why does the very act of questioning torment us? Philosophy is not merely a science that explains the world. It is an endeavor to comprehend what resists comprehension. It is the long, unending narrative of the human intellect striving to perceive what lies beyond shadows. From the temples of the East to the academies of Athens, from the libraries of Baghdad to the universities of Europe, philosophy has carried forth its ancient mission to bestow meaning upon humanity in a world that seems devoid of it. In the 5th century BCE, philosophy as we know it was born in Greece. Socrates roamed the streets of Athens, posing questions without end. What is justice? What is virtue? What does it mean to be a good human being? Socrates offered no answers. He held that the very act of questioning was the path to truth. After him came Plato, his disciple, who envisioned an ideal realm, a world of immutable forms in which eternal values resided, far from the chaos of mortal reality. Then Aristotle returned philosophy to the earth, to observation, experience, and logic, laying the foundational principles of scientific thought. Meanwhile, in the Far East, Confucius exhorted the cultivation of wisdom, ethics, and social harmony, while Buddha sought liberation from suffering through meditation and detachment. In those times, philosophy was the voice of humanity striving for order amidst the tumult of existence. With the rise of the Abrahamic religions, philosophical questions deepened. How can reason interpret the unseen? Is faith opposed to thought? In the Islamic world, philosophy flourished through luminous minds like Al-Kindi, Al-Farabi, and Avicenna, who sought reconciliation between the light of revelation and the illumination of reason. Later, Averroes asserted that truth is indivisible, that what the intellect reveals cannot contradict what God has ordained. In Europe, Thomas Aquinas walked the same path, affirming that faith and reason are two convergent routes toward the same summit, knowledge of the divine. In this epoch, philosophy served theology, yet simultaneously kept the flame of independent thought alive amidst the shadows of the Middle Ages. The 17th century heralded the awakening of reason from a long slumber. René Descartes proclaimed, "I think, therefore I am." Thus was born modern philosophy, with man at the center of knowledge. John Locke and David Hume followed, founding empirical philosophy, asserting that knowledge emerges from experience, not innate ideas. Immanuel Kant synthesized these approaches, claiming that the mind does not perceive the world as it is, but as it is shaped in consciousness. His philosophical revolution marked the dawn of a new era. In the 19th century, Hegel perceived history itself as the unfolding of reason toward freedom, while Karl Marx inverted the paradigm. It is not ideas that change the world, but material reality that shapes ideas. Nietzsche, in turn, declared that God is dead, not in rejection of belief, but in repudiation of subservience, calling for the emergence of a new humanity capable of creating its own values. The 20th century, a century of wars and existential anxieties, saw the rise of philosophies focused on humanity rather than the cosmos. Jean-Paul Sartre asserted existence precedes essence, meaning that man is not born with a predetermined purpose, but forges himself through action. Albert Camus perceived the world as absurd and meaningless, yet the solution lies not in despair, but in defiance, through love, creativity, and beauty. Simultaneously, analytic philosophy dissected language and logic, probing how words generate meaning. Feminist philosophy emerged to question authority and discrimination, existentialism to grant humanity a troubling yet authentic freedom. With scientific progress, philosophers now grapple with artificial intelligence, consciousness, and the brain, revisiting the ancient question anew. Are we truly free or merely programmed beings? In the technological age, the questions have transformed, but the necessity of philosophy endures. As climates collapse, AI learns, and virtual worlds mimic reality, where does humanity stand? Philosophy today is not an academic luxury, but an existential imperative. It guides us in contemplating values, justice, truth, and the essence of being human in an increasingly digitized, impersonal world. We may not need to memorize the works of philosophers. It suffices to live by their questions. Across millennia, philosophies have evolved, yet the question remains singular. Who are we? From Socrates to Nietzsche, from Buddha to Sartre, from Eastern temples to Western universities, philosophy has ever been a mirror of humanity, reflecting its anxieties, its faith, and its yearning for freedom. Philosophy may not provide definitive answers, but it offers something deeper than answers, the capacity to think. Perhaps in the end, philosophy is not a quest for truth, but a quest for humanity itself. For when we question, we are truly alive.